Hello, hello, hello. I see one person. Hello. Hey, Caden, what's up? Yeah, you're the first. They're gonna miss it. All the fun. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, let's do this. They're gonna miss all the fun. Let's see here. Trying to get this situated real quick. Trying to get that situated. Trying to get this tail part situated. I'm probably not gonna use that part. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna tie this. This is gonna be What up, man? Yeah, I'm about to tie this jig real quick. A little small, like crappie, like almost like a crappie style jig, but kind of like some. You might want. It might be something people use for ice fishing too. But it's like small, something small here. Don't forget to like. But this is gonna be like a really small fly, like jig type thing. Like very small. Very small. Right there. Grab it. Get some. A little bit of body. Let's cut the body. I was playing Titanfall earlier. That's what you're hearing. I just left it running. I was playing some online against some other people. So that's where you hear that music in the background. That's what it is. I just like, I'll leave it on. It's kind of going to be my background music, sort of. Because I'm probably going to go back and play a couple matches. I haven't played in so long. I was like, oh, let me play a couple Titanfall matches. Hey man, them jigs get spendy, man. The hooks is the main part. Caden, it gets expensive. It gets spendy to them just because they need to. I want to see them fish them. I might give them to them to fish, but just so they can see if they catch. But I'm pretty sure it'll catch whatever I make up. They'll catch something. Uh, but yeah, it gets spendy. Uh, and I'm back to that's what I'm gonna do here pretty soon. I'm gonna have to do like a whole little. I might go live when I do it too. I'm gonna have to do like a store run for some stuff. So I might do like a short live or something on it. Just be like, this is what I'm getting. Like this is the stuff I'm getting for this particular whatever. So there's the tail. Here's the tail of the jig right there. I'm gonna do like a little bit of white, and that's actually from that one. So after I made that one, I made leftovers, so I don't waste anything. So I'm using the leftovers from that one. The leftovers when I cut it, that's what was left. So I'm using the last piece of that. So making a whole nother fly with the leftovers. So get uh, basically I got 3 flies out of that, 3 like type lures out of that basically. Stretch your materials, like sometimes you think, oh, I don't need it. I can just throw it away. You don't have to throw it away. You can just put it for later. So, because like that's a fresh piece right there. It doesn't look like that piece I just put on there. Actually, oh, I got it here. Yeah, fresh piece right here. Pretty cool. And I might tie one of these pretty soon too. I've already tied them before, but I haven't tied one in a while. See if I can get it. So it's like it's basically like a roe fly. Steelhead, trout, salmon, with the flash on the top, and then tinsel marble on the body. This one's on a pretty big hook. Yeah, you can drift those. You can make them in all kind of colors too. I might show how I make those. Right now, I'm looking for. Oh, there we go. I think I'm gonna use this piece instead of using this piece. Instead of using the fresh piece, I'm gonna use that instead. And save it. Save it for later. Because I'm gonna put this one's actually gonna have red calf tail in it too. And I almost want to put yellow in it, like before yellow, but I think I'm just gonna use the red. I just use orange on top of it and then red. Yeah, I put red in the center. Let's see what it look like here. Let's see what it looks like cut to. Yeah, I think we're gonna lay the. Yeah. Okay, a little bit more here. Here. We're gonna put red in the center, I think, on this one. So put two pieces together. And like twist up the hand so they kind of blend. Because I did two different cuts when I got those two. So now they like that. Lay it on top. I should turn it this way, see. Yeah. So the way it moves, because the hair is usually stiffer than the marabou feathers and the turkey feather stuff, so it's gonna move differently. You can already see that red cutting through there. Yeah. And I'm gonna lay orange on top. Thinking like should I even add flash to it or just leave it plain? Should I do just a plain Jane? Or should I add like something to it? It's always nice to have a little something flash to it. I might add some. We'll add some. We'll add some just in case. Let's see what we got here. Oh, here it is. Yeah, I got everything in bags because my green was good. I think I'm gonna go. Let's go pearl. We're gonna do pearl. I always like the pearl for whatever because it just seems to always work and everything. But we're gonna do pearl. Couple pieces of pearl, Flashaboo. And this is Flashaboo, not Marabou. But he went with that same kind of name when they made this stuff. And then they just kept changing the name because different companies started picking this stuff up. Just and realizing flat tires liked it. So they started changing the names. Yeah, a little bit of something, a little flash in there. We'll put a little bit of in the center. Just a little bit of flash in the center. Yeah, look at that. A little flash in the center. A little flash in the center. Move them around. Spread them out a little bit. Spread them out a little bit. You got beef with FedEx. Why? They didn't deliver something? Yeah, we can do orange on top. Orange on top. Orange on top. Orange on top. This is gonna be tough because this is a small jig. And red's gonna be in the center. I'm gonna tie this down. And it's tough because this is a small jig. It's this like micro stuff like crappie, and so I have to be kind of very tactful a little bit with how I do this. How's it going, luminaries? That's what I said. Gotta go. Gotta go fast. Go, go, go. I gotta go fast. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna tie this jig real quick. Just like a quick throw together jig, like simple throw together. Yeah, it's like go, go, go. I gotta go fast. Yeah, that's why I was like, oh, I gotta go. Because I had it already set up to go, like what I was gonna make. Actually, the night before, and I was just like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna make this, but I was like, I have an idea. I'm gonna make this thing, this random thing, and I'm going to put this in here too. I'm gonna put a hackle feather in there too. All right, and it's pretty much almost done. That fast. Almost done already. Well, it's like, you know what? This will be fun. Just make something random. So it's like, they put like calf tail in there, and then a hackle feather in there, and then flashaboo, pearl flashaboo in there, and then flame, like I did on the other, like that other jig, but this is different. And then this is the powder coated jigs that jig heads, one of those little ones. So this was like for perch, and this would be like fishing for perch and stuff, especially now when it's cold. Kind of like bright color, and you can tip this with something and jig it, especially if you got a boat. So this glue, get this glue in here, right here. Whoop. There you go. Yeah, I can see it like seeping in there. It's good. Yeah, so I was like, I'm just gonna make this thing real quick. And this one's gonna be quick, easy. One thing with the feathers, these little ones come loose, and they be like floating around. You gotta be careful. Like, I was like one time I was trying to like get my food, I was cooking something. I was like, oh no, I don't want the feather to get in there. So I have to really make sure to clean. You have to make sure to clean behind yourself after when you cut those feathers and stuff, because they will somehow end up in weird places. And you don't want to like be eating your meal or something. You're like, oh man, this feather. Like this feather got on me. Yeah, I usually would use like a smaller chenille for this. I mean, it'll probably still look good, and it'll fish. So. And Caden said, "Send me a jig. Send me a bass jig." Technically, these technically these work. This one. Technically, you can take this same jig right here and throw it for bass. Even in that color, like you might catch one. You just have to make it. You got to make it move like it's supposed to, like it's alive, and you might catch one still. Even with that, you might not. They might not like the color though. So I got other types that I've made before. This like is a simple orange. This one, the same thing happened. If you look, the hook that I was showing before on this one, fishing it in the brackish, the brackish water, that type of hook doesn't have the coating to handle it. Like this one has a coating on it. Like you can see, you can't fish those like that, but you can fish them in the lake really good. Yeah, you can't really fish those very good for long anyway. Your jig's not gonna last long, but it will. It might catch you some fish though. Yeah, so this is like a micro mini deal we're doing here. Yeah, one of her, she has a boat, and then I don't know, she's gone like MIA, and it lives really close to me too. And I'm like, what happened? Like, it lives really close. And we would go, and we were having fun, and then like I don't know, she just like disappeared on me. And she has a boat and likes the salmon fishing. She's like, I don't got nowhere to go with me, so we would go, and like go when they stock the trout or whatever here and there. And I would just get a random call like, hey, you want to go see if we can go? I'm like, okay, let's go. I want to take a boat out. I'm like, okay, let's go. Like, you drive. I'm like, okay. You drive the boat. Okay. I went and got my little, you had to go get your boaters, your boaters deal and everything. Yeah, I went and got that and took the boaters test and all that fun stuff. So like, all the little rules they have. All the little rules when it comes to the boating rules. Safety. But I drove boats sometimes when I was younger too. Like, father let me drive, like, gas the boat. Not supposed to, but he let me, like, kind of like get my hands wet on the on the boat, letting me drive them. And now it's like, oh, it's easy. Like, it's funny because now, like, I'm like, oh, this is easy. Like, driving boats is like easy now. It's pretty easy. It's a little tough when it's windy though. That's when it's tough. It's like windy weather and stuff. But yeah, 20-foot boat, no problem. Anything 20-foot, 16 feet between there, I love that size boat. Those are the size boat I like. For me, that's the kind of boat I like to drive. That's the kind of boat I would drive. I like those. All right, so we're gonna do a hackle feather. We lost the hackle feather. See, sometimes it doesn't work out. It doesn't work out like you want. Here, let's see. It's okay though. Now it's just a regular jig because I can't go back. And I'm not gonna untie this because it's glued down. I'm not gonna untie that. It's gonna be a simple jig. Now, I was gonna put that hackle in there, that feather in there, but now that it did that, because it was really, I've had this one for a while too. These ones, they're saddle like hackle feathers. They're not the same as that other one I was using on the other fly. They're not the same as these. They're not, the quality's not as good, obviously. See? When you look at those, there's like a sheen to them and everything. These ones are not. To me, I feel like these are like the ones the chicken dropped on, and he's walking around in the yard and they fell. That's what I feel like. See if they look how they look. They look good though, but they're just a little bit not as. They're still pretty nice. They're good for wet flies, but sometimes, like you see, it's just like I didn't put very much pressure and it like, it just broke. But I could still use that. I'm not really concerned. It's part of fly tying. And heavy hands. Heavy hands too. Part of heavy hands. But this is like the same thing as this. This is basically the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's just smaller. And I decided not to put like a real tail on it. And I wanted red in the center. So there's red in the center of that. I want to cut part of that out too. This other part out. Honestly, if I could leave that in there if I wanted to, and it wouldn't make no difference to the fish. I guarantee it. It's just a little slight piece of brown in there. Remember? There's two. Yeah, it's like I'll just tie like a quick little small one. Small jig. Yeah, I think this is like one. I think these are 1/16th. I think they're 1/16th jig head. They're really small, really light wired, and they actually have collars on these ones. So like they're meant to put the soft plastic lures on them. But sometimes I just if I that's what I can get, I'll just get them if they're on they're the right price and just get them and I'll tie on those, tie something on them. But I actually love to fish them. I love to fish those just like this, straight this cut like lead. I'll fish them like this, straight lead. No, I like the ones with no collar or lead, and I put bait or something on them and I jig those instead. I have a lot more luck sometimes with those than I do with like the colored jig heads sometimes. But sometimes the color one kind of helps, like contrast color to whatever you're fishing with. Bait you got on there. But I love using live bait with just a jig head by itself. It's so fun. I catch a lot of fish like that sometimes. Than having all the fancy fly stuff sometimes. Yeah, but it's pretty much done. That's easy. There's like it's the simplest jig right there. Like it's so simple. It's like a little micro crappie jig. It's really simple. Easy squeezy, lemon peasy. As they say, easy squeezy, lemon peasy. And it's got like an orange on the top, flame. It's like a fire flame body, orange head, like a flame orange head, orange tail, white bottom, red center, flash of blue in the center. Like super simple, like, but it will catch fish. Super simple thing. It just depends what you're fishing for, but I'm sure crappie, trout stuff will bite these one. Will bite this thing, but it just depends on the color scheme, I guess. Pretty much, just simple jigs. Jigs are they just work to me. Like I always carry some kind of jig, some kind of jig. Yeah, and we're gonna go like what drop a thinner in there. Yes, very simple, real simple thing. Simple chenille, like chenille jig, marabou, been around for a long time, and then it's more a matter of color and what you're trying to catch. But you can catch brown trout, black, cutthroat trout, any kind of salmon species, pretty much with a jig. Catch bass too. Everything, almost every fish will bite a jig. It's just the color, and then the right kind of hook to handle that fish. I think even tarpon. I think you can even catch tarpon with like uh, uh, I can't remember what those are called, but they used to take like a ball weighted jig and zip tie it to a hook, almost like it's a jig, and that's how they would put like the bait to it, and that's how they would catch tarpon at one point. Like super unethical way, like weird way to catch tarpon, but that's one way they used to catch tarpon like a long time ago. Like people used to take a zip tie and zip tie it to the hook. This big, huge like sinker things, and so it basically made it like a they have those jigs now too. They're for bass, but they've made them nice now. But like these were big ones meant for like catching tarpon, and they would make them like custom these things, and they weren't really jigged, but technically that's what it was. It was like zip tied to a hook. The sinker would be like zip tied to it, like it's a jig head. I thought it was the neatest thing. I was like, that's crazy. Yeah, we catch tarpon that way. That's crazy. Yeah, super simple though. Just put the glue. Pretty much any fish will hit a jig to me if they're in that mood. And sometimes they want that movement of that jig. That's the movement is what gets them. That the up and down movement of that jig swimming through the water is what they want. And then they have the swim jigs and all the different other kinds too. But I'm a big fan of just a plain old round head jig. Because that up and down motion is just, I don't know. I've sight fished before in the summertime for smallmouth, and I've seen them just chilling out. And throwing stuff lures by them, and they would not bite. They just look at it go by, and but then I took a jig and jigged that jig by him, and I could keep that jig near that fish, and that fish bit that jig, but he wouldn't bite the plug I threw, the Rapala I threw, anything else. Everything I threw there, he wouldn't bite it. And I was like, well, and I didn't have live bait, so I was like, well, put this jig on and see what happens. And as soon as I put that jig on and jigged it a couple times, he went straight for it. So I was like, okay, jigs are pretty cool. I was like, jigs are pretty cool when you learn how to fish them. Like, you learn how to retrieve them properly, and you get used to it, and you get used to the slack line when they bite slack, because they most of the time they bite and it's slack on the fall, so it's slack line bite. You have to realize what's happening. You have to know the relation to the lure falling to the bottom and where it hit the water, and then you realize that's a fish there. Like, that jig should be still falling, and it's not. This line's slack for some reason, and it shouldn't be. And you got to be quick and realize, like, it's in the fish's mouth. real fast. Got to go fast, real down, quick, because he's gonna be gone. But that's it. Simple jig. I'm getting a call here. Hold on. But yeah, simple jig. Let's show you guys a little simple jig real quick. Let's take it out the vise here. See if you can see it. And if you look at it see the little red in the center? It's like it's 3 tones. 1, 2, 3. Like, it looks like a little thing. But see on that side, you can't really see it like there. But if I pull it down, you can see the red in the center. Red in the center. And that's calf tail in the center. I just left it trailing a little bit. And then the crystal flash, Flashaboo trailing, pearl Flashaboo. Just a simple quick little jig you could use. Honestly, I think I could ice fish with this one. I think it would do good ice fishing, just because the color. Could tip it with like maggots or something and jig it. And just a little bit of flash. Honestly, didn't even have to put the red in. I could have just made it white tail, and it'd probably be pretty nice, just a white tail. I was like, just do like red, because the flame, and then the orange, and just put it together. It's like a little mini. It's basically just like a little mini crappie jig, ice fishing jig almost. But I'm pretty sure it'll catch perch and whatever else is around, bass, whatever's around. If they're hungry, that's around, or if you tip it with something, you'll catch something. Flame. So you can see the color difference. That's pink with like black bars on it. So you can see the different color. And then like the orange, it's like real orange, but you can see that flame, like the light, how it's hitting it. It's pretty crazy. Like, the flame is pretty crazy how, like, and that's just from like the lamp above in the house. It's pretty crazy. Like, you can see that flame, how the light's hitting it. It's different than that orange when that orange hits. If you put it next to the light's hitting it, you can tell you see the difference in it. The flame is just something that's just high visible color. And I've caught a lot of pink salmon with that flame color. But pink tails with the flame body but then like the pink or white tail. They just love that thing. And I've caught them with the other pink too, and they will grab the softer pink color. But something about the flame, for some reason, I don't know what it is about the flame color. the flame, and then contrast with the pink. It's some reason I've had caught a lot more. I don't know. I just got a lot more bites with it and a lot more aggressive strikes too from it for some reason to just slam it. And I'm like, wow, like I had to like take the rod out of my hand before. It was just like Jiggy would look away, like not paying attention, and it's like the burrow rod like about to yank out my hand. I was like, whoa. And then they said they don't eat when they're in the water and they're salt in the river. And I'm like, yes, they do. I'm like, they almost do. And like that hook is like down in their throat almost. I'm like, they're actively, sometimes it seems like they're trying to feed, but they're not supposed to be. If that lure looks that good. So yeah, I saw some of those trout too. I haven't been out at all. Like I just kind of like been doing like I've been doing like my little walks and stuff, like for my health reasons and stuff. Just kind of doing some walks and um, getting used to standing for a long period of time. Again, like standing up because I'm gonna be doing a lot more standing up again at the riverbanks and different places, and like been looking at the steelhead. A couple guys are like caught some steelhead already, and they're like, "Look at this steelhead over here," and I'm like, "I know where that is. I know that area. I know exactly where you're at. I know that place. You got to walk in there and blah, blah, blah." Yeah, they're like, gosh, I fished in like February, and I used to fish, and there would be steelhead, but they would follow the baits and lures in and stuff. And there was, at that time too, there was like still a lot of like that was weird that year too. There was a lot of fire truck like coho still around at that time. Every year's kind of different. Every year's kind of different. Hey Susie, what's going on? I just finished tying it. Yeah, I just tied this one here. It's like a crappie jig. Yeah, I don't know. Like it used to be. Someone was talking about it on their channel, and they were saying like it used to be this time of year was the best time, and I was like, yeah, it seemed like I remember that. Like they were like now, like November, like Christmas, like Thanksgiving was like the start of it for steelhead, and then it would go from there, and it would just get better into December. Uh, but now they like we're saying like it's different because of like the hatchery thing, like the stocking and all, like how the hatchery steelhead and all this different stuff, and like the funding and like it was everybody we was getting technical. Basically, we were getting real technical. Everybody's getting technical talking about it, but they were like each river system is different in Washington and in like Oregon and stuff is different. So that was like one of the discussions. That was one of the discussions. And it's like we were getting like everybody was getting into it. All the fishing folks we were talking about it. It was getting deep. We were getting deep about the funding and everything else, and how this doesn't work this way, and then they do this, why they do that, and the natives they do this with the fish, and it's just like like all, and there's like, well, they're the ones that make sure that we have fish, and people just don't know. Like part of the hatchery stuff, some of them they run all that stuff too. They run it themselves, so if they don't have the people to help them do the stuff, grab the fish and count them, and then get the eggs from them and do all that stuff, then you don't get a good hatchery run of fish. And that's just how it goes. And if the run's bad, like it's you got to, hatchery run comes in bad, you have to be they got to be really more specific on how they, when they're doing that type of work, with those fish. One fish can spawn a bunch of fish, but only what, I don't know. I think like they were saying like one, like five or something, three come back from one fish. So out of all them eggs, only like three fish come back or something like that, give or take. Because they got to survive sea lions, orca whales, all that different stuff before they get to where you throw your hook in there and catch it. So that's one of those things about the salmon. It's kind of crazy how they go through all the gauntlet of animals and stuff to get to, so you can eat it, catch it and eat it. But yeah, that's a fly, a jig, hand tied by a run special, another run special, marabou, orange marabou, white underneath, white marble underneath, red calf tail center, flash of blue center, flame body, orange powder coat jig head. Just a quick one. Just a quick getting jiggy with it. Catch y'all guys later.